Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
The Philadelphia 76ers beat the Memphis Grizzlies 119-107 on a Friday night at the Wells Fargo Center. Sixers moved to 32-21 overall, now 23-2 at home, and still sit at 6th in the Eastern Conference. Sixers finally win after dropping 4 straight on the road. My initial reaction to this game, and I apologize for not getting this out quick enough because I was out last night. You know, we do have lives, all of us do, us YouTubers. But yeah, I was out. But don't get me wrong, I did get to watch a good part of this game. You know, I got to see different things that were going on. And overall, it just kind of goes back and resembles the season as a whole. A tale of 2 different teams. This team at home looks like one of the best teams in the whole league. One of the best teams that could represent the Eastern Conference in the playoffs. And on the road, we're a much different team. I mean, we've played disgraceful the last 4-5 games. We come home and we look like a bunch of star-studded players again. Now, let me say this first and foremost. I don't want to overreact. This was a game in February against the Memphis Grizzlies, who are struggling to keep the 8 seed in the West. They played above expectations, but it's the Memphis Grizzlies, okay? So, first and foremost, I know everyone's talking about Brett Brown. Is his job saved? Is this end-all, be-all? Like, should we just forget about everything else that's been transpiring with this team? My short answer is no. I'm not going to overreact to this. The Sixers played great last night. Every guy was, aggressive, engaged, stepping up. But this isn't going to help me forget about what has been transpiring over the last couple weeks, the last month, this whole season. Anyway, we're going to get right into it, man. What I saw from the Sixers team, Brett Brown coached a good game. Guys, he obviously got the guys up. Guys were stepping up. Philadelphia, we should admit, right? This was one of those games where everything was connecting. Guys were hitting. There's just those games where you guys don't miss. Whatever situation you're being put in, you just execute. It was a nice game. Sixers played well. Shot 53% from the field. 56% from 3. Come on, the Sixers don't usually do that. 14 for 25. We played great. But it's not what I'm expecting this team to do every night. But this team played well. Out-rebounded them. Had more assists. More blocks. Sixers played well. They played hard. I guess they love playing in front of these home fans. We do have some of the best fans in the world, I will admit. But overall, this team played well as a collective unit. And we haven't seen that lately. So I guess that eases up a little bit of the pressure. But I'm not going to forget. Brett Brown, like I said, coached an alright game. Coached a good game. We'll say that. He had his guys up and ready to go. But yeah, man, let's just not take this too far. We still have to realize how this team has been operating and how it is an issue. Doing this video a little bit late, I do have, the advantage of watching the post-game press conferences. I heard Elton Brand talk about how, he's not making any promises that Brett Brown will say his coach. He didn't seem confident at all. He said he was, happy with the win, but a 9-19 record on the road, it's not going to cut it. When you get to the playoffs, you have to win not only in your house, but you got to go on the road and play tough teams in tough atmospheres and win hard games. We're great at home. This team is an Eastern Conference finalist when it comes to playing at home. I don't see many teams in this league coming into the Wells Fargo and beating the Sixers. But that's an issue that this team looks exactly opposite in terms of home and road splits. But anyway, we'll look at the box score. We can go down the list. We'll start off with the man himself, Furkan Korkmaz. I did get on him a little bit last game. I was saying that, he wasn't consistent enough. Furkan coming into the year, he got a lot better. We didn't expect him to be what he has this year. He's been a good contributor off the bench. Now, of late, he's been inconsistent. He'll have good stretches where he can't miss. I think he's been getting better as we go on. he had a couple rough games, but last night he was out of his mind. Furkan could not miss. Literally, it was that one of those kind of nights where you give the guy the ball, he could pull it from half court if he wanted to, and he's going to make it. Furkan really ignited the fire on this team. Even when guys were coming out of the starting lineup, a couple guys didn't play well, but Furkan was there. He was there to save the day. It started with Furkan and someone else that I'll get to in a minute, but Furkan, what a game, man. 34 points, a plus 15, 13 for 17 from the field. I mean, 7 for 9 from 3. You can't ask for much more than that, especially for a bench guy. Career high. I mean, 34 off the bench. We know that's not going to be happening on a consistent basis, but well, let's give him a round of applause. Furkan, heck of a game, man. Heck of a game. He was pretty much the lone star on the bench. I mean, he kind of accounted for the whole bench. Mike Scott had 3. Pell had 5. I am glad that we signed Norvell Pell for the rest of the year. With guys like Bolden finally getting up and out of here. I think Pell's earned a spot this year with the way that he plays. I wish Embiid would look at how Pell plays. Any guy, he's not scared of coming to the rim. He plays well. I'm glad he's here. Richardson, Josh Richardson came back. Limited minutes off the bench. He's been one guy I feel like hasn't been talked about enough. We need his contributions. He needs to get back and get his feet under him and ready to go, because whether you like it or not, over his first 4 years of his career, Josh Richardson has gotten better and better each year by a good amount. Every year, it's like he's averaging 3 or 4 more points a game. He's doing well. On defense, he brings the intensity, the energy every single night. I like Josh Richardson. I think he was a good pickup for the Sixers. And, yeah, we need him back for sure. But I'm glad that he got to, ease his way back in against a team like the Grizzlies. Thibault, 6 points, not bad. But, yeah, overall, it was Korkmaz's kind of night. I mean, you see every shot. It's like every time I looked at the TV, Korkmaz is going up. He's getting fouled. He's shooting from wherever you could think of. And all the fans at the Wells Fargo rise on every Korkmaz 3. And it was just like he had that energy of that building inside him. What a game, Furkan. We go to the starters. Ben Simmons, this game ran behind him as well from the starting unit perspective. Ben had 22. 4 rebounds and 10 assists, 3 steals and a block. He was engaged. Heck of a game. 9 for 14 from the field. Outstanding. But it makes me ask questions like this. Why can Ben Simmons only shoot the ball 6 times against the Milwaukee Bucks, a team that you're going to have to put up solid contributions to beat? You're one of the main men on this team, Ben. This team, their energy, it rides behind you. You and Joe, it rides behind you guys. So how come Ben Simmons is taking 14 shots now when it's against the Grizzlies, but against the Bucks he's only taking 6? How come Ben Simmons, and I'm telling you, this guy is so talented for 22 years old, 23 years old, almost. It's unbelievable to me how much talent this kid has, and the IQ is there. Sometimes these guys have the talent, but they have to get smarter as basketball players. Ben Simmons has it. He's there. I mean, I'm seeing Ben Simmons pluck a guy at half court. Later on in the game, I'm seeing Ja Morant. Or no, this was the first time. Ja Morant, I think it was before halftime. He's sitting there waiting for a play from his coach. Ben Simmons sees that as an opportunity to be aggressive. He says, that's mine. He goes up and takes it from him. Gets fouled, goes all the way down, big slam. But how come some nights it's like Ben Simmons is just sitting there minding his own business? It's like he's not even engaged. He's not even interested. I have to ask these questions. We have to ask these questions. We have to hold these guys accountable, like I've been saying. Ben Simmons, to me, can do this every single night. There is literally, honestly, maybe 1, 2, possibly 3 players that I think can kind of guard Ben Simmons in this league. I view him as pretty much just right behind Giannis, except Giannis is now shooting the ball. Even though Giannis isn't an efficient shooter yet, he's shooting the ball. He's getting comfortable with it. And yes, I know Ben Simmons doesn't have, as much help as Giannis does. But Ben Simmons has to get comfortable with shooting the ball. That is one of the things that is holding this team back from reaching its full potential. It's not at the top of the list right now because of the whole coaching situation, but Ben Simmons is going to have to shoot the ball, and that is a fact. I don't even know what he is, a guard, a center, a forward, who knows? Who knows? He can do so many things. His IQ is there. Heck of a night, Ben. But you got to be consistent with this. You got to continue to do it. You've been pretty good lately. But against the Bucks, you cannot show up and shoot the ball 6 times and not even be engaged. You can't do it. Ben Simmons has even emerged as an all defender this year. I believe so. Heck of a game, man. I need to see this. Whether it's you don't feel comfortable with Embiid in there, I don't care. You got to show the hell up every single night and play like this. Because when you're hungry, when you have that, like that mean emoji face that Ben Simmons always tweets out, it's like he has that look. And when he has that look, he cannot be stopped. And I'm just saying that for everyone to hear. Tobias, great game. Ben was a plus 23. By the way, Tobias a plus 17, 21. He contributes with 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks. Tobias was engaged. Every time it seemed that I thought he shot a little bit better than 9 for 17. But it's like every time I looked, it's like Tobias was hitting a shot. Again, can you be consistent? $180 million max contract. We know you're not really a max player, but we had to pay you the premium to keep you here. But you got to earn that money, Tobias. Some nights you come out and you earn it. One thing I'll give Tobias is he always has that drive. He's always looking to attack. That's what I like about him. But you got to be more consistent. You got to put up more games like this. Great game, Tobias. Al, 4 for 10, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. I mean, he contributed. Wasn't the best game. Still feel like he has to be utilized a little. Actually, no, a lot better. We got to put Al Horford in situations in the way that he played with Boston. Al can be a major contributor on this team. And Brett Brown just hasn't been able to do it so far. So, Al, I hope we can get you some help, man. Because whether you have to start coming off the bench, whatever has to happen, it has to happen. We got too much damn talent on this team to be in the position we are in. That's just me speaking facts. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the Grizzlies, we know Ja Morant. I was keeping a close look on him. I really like him this year. Being a rookie, coming from Murray State. I feel like Ja Morant has a chip on his shoulder at all times, and he plays like that. What is he averaging? 17 and I think 9. I think it's 17 and 9, I believe. And he's for a rookie. The kid's like 19, 20 years old. He's unbelievable. He's going to be so good. I pretty much think he already has Rookie of the Year locked up. Maybe Zion will get it just because of the popularity factor. But to have this Grizzlies team in the position they're in, I mean, Ja Morant has a lot on his back right now, and he's playing great. He didn't play good last night. A minus 14, 15 points, 4 for 12 from the field. Didn't play well. We know that. It was good defense on him. We gave him different looks. But I think Ja Morant what also contributed to that was Ja Morant just not having a good night. That's just my opinion. But, I mean, Ja Morant's a good player. We know that. There are other guys that didn't really contribute. Valanciunas had 14. 2 guys off the bench. Tyus Jones had 13. And Brandon Clark had 11. No one on their team really stepped up. And I could see that. They kind of had a little bit of an off night. But it was good defense by the Sixers. We played hard. Even if you don't have more talent, when you play hard, or even if a team isn't having a good night, or whatever you want to look at, say a team's just not shooting the ball well, even if you're playing good defense, even if you're just playing hard and you're focused and energized at all times, you'll be fine. You'll have a chance to stay in that game. The Sixers have too much talent, and too many times I'm seeing this team just not fully engaged. I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is, and I believe it's the coach. What I mean is I don't know why it's so different on the road and at home. Obviously, most teams statistically are better at home, but it's almost like this team just can't play on the road, and that is an issue because we're going to be faced with tough situations where we got to play on the road, and we got to win tough games and tough atmospheres, but it seems like at this point we can only defend our home court. We can't win on the road. Overall, good performance by the Sixers. I'm happy that we finally got a win. But this still doesn't ease me in the fact that I still think Brett needs to be gone. I still need to see a new offensive system implemented. We got Chicago next at home on Sunday. I expect us to come out and dominate in that game too because it's at home against the Bulls. But what's going to happen when we go play these tougher teams again on the road? It's going to be the same story. Same exact story. I still want to see Elton pull the trigger, and we need a switch up. I know we got these two bench guys coming, Burks and Robinson. I think they'll provide good minutes off the bench. But overall, we need an overhaul. Simmons can't be playing like this one night and go out and play pathetic the next night. Joel Embiid, we didn't even talk about him. Reason I didn't is because he had a good first half, 10 and 10. Then he went out with neck stiffness, injury prone. Embiid, you got to stay healthy, man. I do believe Joel Embiid is out of shape, and I've said it all year. No one really wanted to listen to me. I think he's almost in worse shape than he was last year. His hands are always on his knees. He's tired, huffing and puffing, coming down the court, walking down the court sometimes. Sometimes it's like he can't even jump off the ground. It's like, I just think he needs to lose some weight and become a 5 to 10% better three-point shooter. I think this team will be in good shape. And we need the right coach to put everything together, connect these guys, make sure they can work together, and really just implement that team factor. I haven't seen that team factor lately. Last night was a great game. Everyone played together. We looked like a solid team. But it's just one game against Memphis in February. I'm not going to let it change my perspective. I still think we need something fresh. We need something new. And that's my opinion. But good game, boys. Hopefully we can get another one on Sunday. I expect this to come out pretty solid. If we were to lose that one, keep your eyes open for sure. But great game. Furkan, Ben, Tobias, and the rest of them. Solid performance. I'm happy. Let me know down below what you thought about the game last night. Let me know what you're thinking in terms of the coach situation and all that. Thank you for watching. Like and sub, and I'll catch you on the next one, man. Peace.
Perfect.